Hey guys, Guilherme here. I'm one of the developers of X-UniTMX. Well, I believe you know by now, right? But X-UniTMX is a tiled map importer to Unity. Well, you know what style. If you don't know what tiled is a generic tiled map editor. So it allows you to paint a map a tile using tiles, and it has some cool features as auto mapping, terrain, and things like object layers, multiple layers, image layers, and more. And X-UniTMX is the bridge between tiled and Unity. In this video, I will talk about the main features of X-UniTMX, and I will show you, I will guide you through the included examples in the package. After, I will make another video where we will build a simple game from scratch. So X-UniTMX is free and open source, so you can clone its repository and create pull requests. You're free to please, if you have any feature you want to implement, you're free to do it. It's easy to use, and what I wanted to was to empower level designers, so they didn't need me as I am a programmer. They won't need me to manually add the map to the scene or load it. Using X-UniTMX, after you set up all your project, you create your prefabs, level designers can easily create and test the levels without the need of a programmer. And of course, you can use it in your project to load maps and anything else. And it's fully documented. I won't lie, it's my first project that I made documentation so well. Mainly because I'm giving you for you guys, so you can use it as well. The Doxygen documentation is online. You have there will be a link in the description, and now of course there's a link in the project overview in it's currently hosted in Bitbucket, so you can clone it from there, and there is a useful guide there. You can take a look. The links in the description. Well, about tiled features, it basically supports all features from tiled 0.10. At least all features that I am aware of. So it supports orthogonal, isometric, and staggered isometric maps. You can read maps from resource folders. That was the main purpose when I started doing this framework. Sorry. But now you can also read maps from streaming assets folder, the special folder from Unity that won't be compiled, so you'll be able to modify it after you compile a game. Or you can read using the www class from HTTP or URLs. Sorry. And another cool feature is that the importer can automatically generate colliders for you, or prefabs, of course. And it reads and parses all properties that you set. Of course, not all. There are some custom properties from the importer. They are documented as well, that you can use to or import prefabs. You can set the tag of the object, the certain layer, and the layer, the physics layer, and other things as well. There are many included examples, mainly scenes that showcase some features, and there are also some little games examples. I wouldn't call them full games, just scenes that are more complex, that showcases more features than the single scenes. So now let's do a demonstration of the examples. I will import the package into Unity. I will show what you need to do for the examples to run. Well, unfortunately there is a little bit of setup you need to do for the examples. That's because Unity doesn't allow you to add certain layers through script, and some things break if you don't add the right certain layers, but it's really easy to set up. I will show you. Let's go. Let's open Unity, create a new project. Let's go here, video. Examples test. Okay, not right. Nah. Set the default for 2D. Create. Make sure you create the project for you. It's opening. Okay. Now I will import the package. Import package. Custom package. Let me go to the folder where my Unity package is. You can download the Unity package, or if you want, you can just copy the UniTMX folder for your project. I find the Unity package much easier as well, and it can be used for asset store, of course. So Unity will open the package. Here you can choose what Unity will import for your project, to your project. So if you're making a project where you just want to use the UniTMX code, you just need this folder. All other folders here, the examples, the resources, and streaming assets, are just from the included examples. I will import everything here because my purpose here is to show you those examples. Okay, so Unity imported the package, full package, including examples. But before opening the starting scene, there is some things you need to do before. The first thing is here in the menu, you see a new one. Just click it and add example scenes. This will automatically add the example scenes from UniTMX to your build settings. This is needed for the starting scenes to work, and all the load level scripts will also work on this project. But still, before opening starting scenes, we need to add the layers that are needed. Just go edit, project settings, tags and layers. You see that the tags were automatically created from some scenes. There is still a tag that is missing. I remember my head. It's branches, I think so. Okay, but let me. Okay, in the project site, on the UniTMX, in the repository inside Bitbucket, there is a wiki where you can all see the layers that you need to add. And if you choose to clone the repository in your computer, the readme will also give you the layers you need to add. So let's just add them. I know this is cumbersome, but unfortunately, as I said, it doesn't allow me to automatically create this for you. And some examples need, as your game of course, they need the sorting layers. It is just print, and there is just one physics layer that is needed pass through. Okay, now you're good to go. Let's open starting scene. Let's run it. Okay. Well, starting scene is just it's a simple GUI showing with links for the other scenes where some features are showcased. Let's open the first one just to show you how the importer shows itself in the inspector. So this game, wow, it's a wonderful name, right? Game of it. Okay, so this is the inspector component from the X-UniTMX. Here you must pass your XML file. So as Unity doesn't recognize .tmx as a text asset, just .txt or .xml, you must rename your map to .xml. That's the only way that Unity will be able to show you here the map. And you can drag and drop it here. Don't worry, Tiled can also open .xml. It won't make a difference for it, so you can just use it, no problems on that. Conveniently, it shows you the path from the inside the resource folders. Here you can choose the default material for each tile. You can see here that it generates tiles, right? It's not the most efficient way, but it's in many games you will want to move tiles, change them. It's nice to have this access, and you can set the default material for each tile. So if you have a game that has lights and you want to use the diffuse material, or if created a new material only for the tiles, you can use it here. And here we can see that the inspector shows you all layers that are from the map, the tile layers, object layers, and any image layers it has. Tile layers currently is just to show you the names. Object layers, the interesting one. Well, each object layer can generate the colliders, as you can see here. Those colliders are generated from objects inside Tiled. I created an object layer called colliders and created those colliders there. Those are, let me show you in Tiled so you can understand. Let's open this map. What's the name of the map? Small test, multiple layers. Let's open it. That's multiple tiles, multiple layers. .xml here. So you can see there's a background that is deactivated here, but you can see that it is generated but also deactivated. The midground, the foreground layers that are here. So you can see that each tile has the starting layer set by the name of the tile layer. Of course, if it matches any starting layer from the list, okay. So if you name, like, let's say tile layer, and there is no tile layer in the starting layer, you just go back to default, to fallback. So I generate the tile layers, and here you can see the object layers that I've created. There's the colliders and the prefabs. So the colliders, I've created just for that, for generating colliders inside Unity. Colliders can be both 2D or 3D. So in case your game is 2.5D or a 3D game, but you use tiled for object placement or anything like that, you can generate 3D colliders, or you can just use the default 2D colliders. It will take this object, take the info, the position, size, and then generate an object accordingly. You can see that ellipses, they are not perfect circles. It tries to match the ellipse with a polygon. As ellipse collider doesn't exist, ellipse collider 2D doesn't exist, it matches with. And here you can see a prefab. It was generated from a prefab. It's in here, prefabs. The Tiled Map. This is a prefab. It has rigid body, a poly collider, and a script. Everything is set from the prefab, and it's just imported here from the map. You can see here there's the prefab layers. It could be inside the collider layers, of course, because what makes the difference here is not that it's inside the prefab layer. It could be any name you want. Okay, so it doesn't matter the name. Prefab is the name of the layer. What really matters here are the custom properties. These properties are read by the importer. So these are default properties. You can see a list here. Let me show you the list. Oops. So you can see there's a full guide there. You can read and use as reference. So these are the custom properties that you can use on the objects for any object in any object layer, and here for anything, not just objects. So you can set, if it's a prefab, you add a prefab property with the value of the name, as here it's a property is prefab, and value is the name of the prefab inside Unity. You can see Tiled Map head. If it's going to be add a collider, or in case your prefab doesn't have a collider, you can choose to add one. It will add, please note, it will add a collider based on the object type inside tiled. Here it's a box, so if it was true, it would add a box. Now, here you can see that this prefab has a polygon collider is matching the sprite, but in this case it wouldn't. Okay, please bear in mind. Yeah, this is also important, the prefab path. So you can see the path that is inside resources folder. So it will search resources slash prefabs slash the name of the prefab. So the name and the path must match. And zdef is only needed. It's mainly for 3D or 2.5D games. 2D game won't benefit from it, but it's there. You can also send messages from the prefab, and from the general properties you can set layer, the physics layer. This please notice this just layer uses the layer ID, so you must know what ID the layer is. You can see that in the project area and tags and layers here between layer 0, so the ID 0 is from default, and so it goes. But you can also use layer name. If names are easier for us humans, so you can use the name and it will convert for you. You can set the tag of the game object. So if it's a player, you have the tag player. You just set a property of name tag and value the player. You can set the sorting layer. So if this prefab or this collider has a render attached to it, it will change its sorting layer name. You can change the sorting order. Here, this is mainly for colliders when you are creating 3D colliders. If you add this property as true, so name create mesh 3D and value true, it will create a mesh 3D for visualization. It's useful for debugging, so you can visually see at runtime what it's being created from the tiled map. But of course you can also use that to generate meshes for your game. So you could for example create a 3D Thomas Was Alone using this property. You can of course set material color, of course, again if it has a render attached. You can add components. So let's say you made a script, and so you can add it using this property. You can send messages for the attached script. Remember that send message sends this message. It activates functions. They are attached to the game object. It can't change it. It can't broadcast for everything in the scene. So if you need that, you have to create your own implementation for that. I'm using just the default Unity send message function here. So back to the examples. You can also it's also possible to generate tile collisions. So what's that? It's a new feature inside Tiled. Let me show you here. Tile collisions, you can see here it created this gigantic mesh automatically for you. So in this case I didn't have to go in the map and create an object layer and then set points for everything. No, let me show you in Tiled how it's done. And open. Okay, this is here. You can see the map here. You can see there is no object layer. So how the colliders are being generated? If you open here the latest version of Tiled above 0.10, you can go here, view tile collision editor. Here you can create objects for each tile in each tile set. You can use, well, in the future when they add properties for this object. Right now it just don't work, but in the future you might want to use that for anything you like, but for now the main purpose for that is to generate colliders. So here you can see that this tile generates a box. If you see this tile, it has a polygon, this tile a triangle, and it goes. So you can generate, you can mark here the objects that are the collision for this tile, and then, well, X-UniTMX will read these properties and then throw that in a Clipper algorithm and join everything in a big collider for you. So you don't need to make as the first example where I marked everything using a object layer. You don't need that. You just go view tile collision editor and create your colliders from here. It's easier, right? Okay, let's go to another. I won't show you all examples, okay? I'm just showing you the most important one. So here, map loading from script. What does this scene shows you? Let me here. So you can see that I can change the maps. Oops, no. Just by clicking with the mouse, it will change maps for me, and you can see it's fast. Okay, so of course those maps are small. You can see the size of them here, 12, but it's fast. So let me show you here. This is a script, a custom script that I've created. You can use it if you want. And in this script I have a maps array, and here I've added the text assets from my folders. Okay, they are the maps. Okay, so it will just load the map that is current here. So one, oops, okay, it doesn't work here. Okay, so one, it loads the map 1 and just goes like that. Here is just showcase you that you can also load maps from the script. You don't need to use the inspector at all. You can also of course use both a script and the inspector. Why that? Well, because the inspector just outputs the map in the scene, but you might want to read properties from the maps from any layer. You might want to change the tile, so you need to have access to the tiled map. Here I have directly access because I'm creating it. Let me open Visual Studio for you. So in this script I have a constructor that's creating each tiled map using those maps here, those text assets. So I have access directly in this script. If I use the component, I would add the component here, the inspector component, with no problem, and I would need to create another script that will take that component as a variable, and then in that script I would have access to the map class, and then I would have access to all layers, all objects. I'll be able to use the functions like tile position toward point and everything else. You get object, you can generate colliders, and everything using the map. Okay, so just show you that it is possible. Everything is documented. Okay, Doxygen is also generated, so you can access it. I'll show you here in documentation. So it's chalzado.bitbucket.org/docs/X-UniTMX. Here is the full documentation. Okay, so you can see everything here. Map, it shows you the constructors, what they take, the functions that you can use, and everything is here, so you can check it anytime you want. Back to Unity. Let's go back. Now another important example is the streamed assets. So what streamed assets are? Basically, the most simple one are the streaming assets, are the ones that are inside the streaming assets folder. This is a special folder inside Unity. You might know that resource folders get compiled, so when you build your game, generate the executable, the resource folders is not there. Well, it is, but it's compiled, so you can't like go there and update an tile set. You just don't have access for that. But the streaming assets folder is a special folder that doesn't get compiled, so you'll have access to it. Let me see if I have an example for you. There, builds web. Here I have generated this web build a while ago. It's from an older version, but just to show you that streaming assets is here. You can see that it didn't compile anything, just here for me to use, and for your players they will be, if it's not web, if it's a standalone executable, this folder will be there, so they will be able to see it. Sometimes you want that, sometimes don't, but what's really important here is that using the streaming assets, you can also load from the web. I have a map here. You can see that it took longer to load because this map is in the web. Let me show you. It's an HTTP path. Okay, I will open it so you can see. Let me open it. This is my domain, just for testing. So you can see here, this is the XML file from the map. You can see that if you pass an HTTP path to the constructor, there is a special constructor for that, it will download your map from the web, including any tile sets it has. So with that, I'm enabling you to create backends for your game where you upload your maps, and you might even enable your players to upload their maps. I know that all that fuzz about user generated content. So if you have a domain, let's say mygame.com/maps, and there is a server running there is fetching all the maps for you. Using that, you can read maps from your players. That's really nice, huh? I don't have any backend example for that because, well, that's not there. This is not trivial, right? You need to have some control over that, but it's possible. I like just that it's possible. It's a useful feature, right? Okay, back. Well, you might have seen in the streamed assets that isometric is also supported. just show you again. Up here. Oops, forgot to fix here, but okay. You can see the isometric is also supported, okay, and also staggered isometric. Oops, oh come on here. This mouse look is using a function from the tiled map, okay. If you come here, oops, nope, mouse test script, let me open it for you. Come on, open it for me. Okay, it opened. Here, select tiled position, is tiled position to world point. Okay, so I take the mouse position, I draw it to a world point to tile index to calculate the index inside the map. So if I am in the where I am in the main map coordinates, so 0, 0, 0, 1, and so that function calculates that, and if that with that output I draw it to tiled position to world point, so it converts that tiled map position, that tile map coordinate, to a world coordinate, and that is used for this sprite. It's a simple sprite, right? Sprite render, and the position is changed by the map using those functions. So you can see that if you just use this first one, world point to tile index, you can see what was selected. So if there was a input on mouse down here, you grab the mouse position, you throw to this function, and it will tell you what tile was clicked. So you can see if it's anything special about the tile. Depends on your game. If a strategy game, it would be an barracks or anything like that. Just to show you it's possible. Back here. Okay, about you can take a look at the other scenes and what they showcase, and the games are a little bit more complex. They showcase more features. Here is a simple 2D top-down game. Okay, I'm controlling a mage. Oops, oh my god, those scorpions die. Oop, oh fuck. Grab the prefabs. You can see the animated tiles. You can see that it works, okay. I forgot to mention it, but it works. Okay, there's a problem here, do not worry. Just show here the collision layers. Let me show the map, right? Here's the map. Get a big. If I click to show me everything, so there are collisions that were set using using collider layer. Okay, remember this is not necessary. You can use tile collisions, but as this example is a little bit old, it uses this. It has triggers for map loading. It set the prefabs. Oh, I almost forgot to mention, here in the inspector you can also see the objects that are inside an object layer. It just opens a new window for you. I'll pause here. Okay. This window shows all objects that are inside this this layer. Okay, so this object named parede, type collider is a box object, and it gives you the bounds. And what's important here is that it also shows you the properties of each object. So you can see here it's a prefab with hue drinks blue. It won't add collider, it prefabs, and starting layer foreground. Let me see if I find the player. Where is the player here? Same thing, prefab, player. There's the triggers. The triggers use add component and send message. So they add those trigger to the load map and response save. Those scripts are used for map changing. I'll show you in a minute. And the send message to set up those scripts. Okay, let's see this in action. Oops. Poof. Here I change the map. Yes, let me show you. Yay. Let me go to the next map. Yes, I'm changing the game. Here's just another example showcasing a platformer game. Okay, jump here. Yes. Oh my god, danger. Where I need to go? Oh my god, clouds that I can step on it. Yes. So the map here again loaded using object are loaded from the object sliders layer. Again, remember this is not strictly necessary, it's just another option for you. Okay, for the next example, again platformer example, but let me show you a cool one. There's 3D platformer. Okay, except for the player, everything here was generated from tiled maps, so there is no prefab here, just mesh, the cube meshes that were generated from the maps here. Let me show you. There are the platform, the walls, everything just objects that were placed in tiled, and they all have, let me show you, the create mesh 3D set with true. When this is set with true, you can see that the importer will create those meshes for you. These are also created from the tiled map. Okay, just showcase you that this is also possible, and it's a cool feature, right? You can prototype levels much faster with that. Yes, oh my god, change perspective, no. So, well, that's all, folks, for this video. I'm a little bit tired, as you might notice by my voice. I'm sorry for any English problem. It's not my native language, and I didn't speak English for a while, so. Well, this is the X-UniTMX examples. In the next video, I will create a new one from the ground up. So I will show you the whole process of creating a map in tiled and importing it. You see that it's really easy. There is no problem. There is nothing catchy on that. And well, I hope you you enjoyed, go and see you in the next video. Bye.